Vandeham Shri Guru.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanam Jana Sahalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Satpitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamhayam Dadati Swaparandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sakajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajim Tatvaitam Shavadutam Parijanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lita Shri Vishakanvitam Vishya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namaram Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Samiti Naminen Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharinen Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarinen Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we're going to go to chapter 18, text 78, requested by Dinesh Prabhu. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partha Dhanurdaraha Tatra Shriyo Vijayo Buddhi Durva Nittirmatir Mama. So the verse Yatra, wherever there is Yatra, where Yogeshwaraha, the master of mysticism, Krishna, Lord Krishna, Yatra, where Partha, the son of Pita, Dhanurdaraha, the carrier of the bow and arrow, Tatra, there, Shri, opulence, Vijaya, victory, Bhuti, exceptional power, Dhruva, certain, Niti, morality, Matir, Mama, my opinion. So translation, wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystic, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power and morality. This is my opinion. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Bhagavad-Gita began with an inquiry of Dhritarashtra. He was hopeful of the victory of his sons, assisted by great warriors like Bhishma, Drona and Karna. He was hopeful that the victory be on his side. But after describing the scene on the battlefield, Sanjaya told the king, "You are thinking of victory, but my opinion is that where Krishna and Arjuna are present, there will be all good fortune." He directly confirmed that Dhritarashtra could not expect victory for his side. Victory was certain for the side of Arjuna because Krishna was there. Krishna's acceptance of the pose of charity for Arjuna was an exhibition of another opulence. Krishna is full of all opulences and renunciation is one of them. There are many instances of such renunciation, but Krishna is also the master of renunciation. The fight was actually between Duryodhana and Yudhishthira. Arjuna was fighting on behalf of his elder brother Yudhishthira because Krishna and Arjuna were on the side of Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira's victory was certain. The battle was to decide who would rule the world, and Sanjaya predicted the power would be transferred to Yudhishthira. It is also predicted here that Yudhishthira, after gaining victory in this battle, would flourish more and more because not only was he righteous and pious, but he was also a strict moralist. He never spoke a lie during his life. There are many less intelligent persons who take Bhagavad-Gita to be a discussion of topics between two friends on a battlefield, but such a book cannot be scripture. Some may protest that Krishna incited Arjuna to fight which is immoral, but the reality of the situation is clearly stated. Bhagavad-gītā is the supreme instruction in morality. The supreme instruction in morality is stated in the 9th chapter and the 34th verse, Man mana bhava mad bhakta. One must become a devotee of Krishna, and the essence of all religion is to surrender unto Krishna. Sarva dharma parityaja mamekam sharanam vya. The instruction of Bhagavad-gītā constitutes the supreme process of religion and of morality. All other process may be purifying and may lead to this process. But the last instruction of the Gita is the last word in all morality and religion, surrender unto Krishna. This is the verdict of the 18th chapter. From Bhagavad-gītā we can understand that to realize oneself by philosophical speculation and by meditation is one process, but to fully surrender unto Krishna is the highest perfection. This is the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad-gītā. The path of regulated principles according to the orders of social life and according to the different causes of religion may be a confidential path of knowledge. But although the rituals of religion are confidential, meditation and cultivation of knowledge are still more confidential. And surrender unto Krishna in devotional service in full Krishna consciousness is the most confidential instruction. That is the essence of 18th chapter. Another feature of the Bhagavad-gītā is that actual truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. The absolute truth is realized in three features: impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and ultimately Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Perfect knowledge of the absolute truth means perfect knowledge of Krishna. If one understands Krishna, then all the departments of knowledge are part and parcel of that understanding. Krishna is transcendental, for he is always situated in his eternal internal potency. The living entities are manifested of his energy and are divided in two classes, eternally conditioned and eternally liberated. Such living entities are innumerable and they are considered fundamental parts of Krishna. Material energy is manifested in 24 divisions. The creation is affected by eternal time and is created and dissolved by eternal external energy. This manifestation of the cosmic will repeatedly become visible and invisible. In the Bhagavad-gītā, 5 principal subject matters have been discussed: the Supreme Personality of Godhead, material nature, the living entities, eternal time, and all kinds of activities. All these depend on the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. All conception of the Absolute Truth, impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and other transcendental conception exist within the category of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although superficially the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the living entity, material nature and time appear to be different, nothing is different from the Supreme. The Supreme is always different from everything. Lord Chaitanya's philosophy is that of inconceivable oneness and different. This system of philosophy constitutes the perfect knowledge of the Absolute Truth. The living entity in his original position is pure spirit, is just like an atomic particle of the Supreme Spirit. Thus Lord Krishna may be compared to the sun and the living entities to sunshine. Because the living entities are the marginal energy of Krishna, they have a tendency to be in contact either with the material energy or with the spiritual energy. In other words, the living entity is situated between the two energies of the Lord, and because it belongs to the superior energy of the Lord, he has a particle of independence. By proper use of that independence, he comes under the direct order of Krishna. Thus he attains his normal condition and the pleasure-giving potency. So I read the verse again. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystic, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power and morality. This is my opinion. So this verse is the last verse in the Bhagavad-gītā that speaks about Krishna. Generally, there is a misconception that in an Indian house, usually, they don't like to keep the form of Krishna or picture of Krishna or anything like that. Or if they keep the picture of Krishna, they have a tendency to take the flute away from his hands. Because they have the misconception that when Krishna is with the flute, he will blow away the wealth of the family. You can see how this big misconception is there in the mind of The so-called educated people even, you see. So this is the misfortune. You can see how here Krishna, and wherever Krishna is there, and wherever Arjuna is there with him, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power and morality. See, this is the difference, because people are misguided, and they are misguided and they don't know. You follow? In Kali Yuga, this is the condition of the living entity. In Kali Yuga it says, I get you this verse now. I think it is here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, early part of the Bhagavatam. Haryana, 1:110. See here, this is the problem. 1.1.10. So this is the symptom of the people in Kali Yuga. You see, in Kali Yuga is prayena. That means almost all. Alpa usa, very less. Sabya. Kalo asmin yuge janaha. Manda sumanda matayo. Manda bhagya he upatata. So you see, this is very nicely described. O learned one, in this iron age of Kali, men have but short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. You see, in Kali Yuga they are quarrelsome, and Manda means lazy, and Sumanda Matayo means misguided, and Manda Bhagya means they are no more Bhaga, they are unlucky, and Upadrita means disturbed. You see, this is their position. So because they are in this kind of category, they do not know what to do, what not to do. And basically their lives are full of sinful activities. So because to come to Krishna, let us read the purport. The devotees of the Lord are always anxious for the spiritual improvement of the general public. When the sages of Nameswarani analyze the state of affairs of the people in this age of Kali, they foresaw that man would live short lives. In Kali Yuga, the duration of life is so shortened, not so much because of insufficient food, but because of irregular habits. Is a very important point. You see here, you die early, not because of eating. You actually die because of your irregular habits. Practically, many of them are working in very odd kind of conditions. Right? They work shifts, don't know when they sleep, when they wake up, everything is, today they will be in this condition, tomorrow they change their habit to another condition. So by keeping that, their life is shortened. By keeping regular habits and eating simple food, any man can maintain his health. Overeating, over-sense gratification, over-dependence on another's mercy. This is another very, very important point. Over-dependence on another's mercy. See? And artificial standards of living sap the very vitality of human energy. Therefore, the duration of life is shortened. So classically, Prabhupada has given the whole formula how life is shortened. One is because they keep irregular habits, insufficient food, but because of irregular habits, eating simple food can maintain health. Overeating, over-sense gratification, over-dependence on others' mercy, artificial standards of living sap the very vitality of human energy. Therefore, the duration of life is shortened. You see? And this is why people die early. Okay? The people of this age are also very lazy, not only materially, but in the matter of self-realization. The human life is specially meant for self-realization. That is to say, man should come to know what he is, what the world is, and what the supreme truth is. Human life is a means by which the living entity can end all the miseries of the hard struggle for life in material existence, and by which he can return to Godhead, his eternal home. But due to a bad system of education, men have no desire for self-realization. You see, this is another very important point. Because of a bad system of education, men have no desire for self-realization. So why do you say bad system? Because they are teaching atheism in school. All schools are supposed to be secular. No religion in school. You understand? How you expect to go to learn something which is totally opposite what God is speaking? Now suppose I take money from you and take everything from you, and then I teach everybody in the house that you are a rascal. Very nice thing. Huh? I don't acknowledge. Is that a nice education system? And that's why the education system is said to be of ass, donkeys, ass, and cows. This is a system of education. It's so bad. Men have no desire for self-realization. They don't care. They don't want to know also. Even if they come to know about it, they unfortunately become victims of misguided teachers. There are so many crooks teaching them some wrong things, you see. So in this age, men are victims not only of different political creeds and parties, but also of many different types of sense gratificatory diversions, such as cinemas, sports, gambling, clubs, mundane libraries, bad associations, smoking, drinking, cheating, pilfering, bickering, and so on. See how many bad qualities they are already. How many bad qualities they are getting involved. Very, very pitisome. Their minds are always disturbed and full of anxiety due to so many different engagements. In this age, many unscrupulous men manufacture their own religious faith. It's a fact. There many guys are promoting this Baba, that Baba. He's speaking one thing, another guy is speaking another thing. Everyone is speaking some hodgepodge, which are not based on any revealed scriptures. It's a fact. No Shastra backing. Simply speculate. And very often people who are addicted to sense gratification are attracted by such institutions. It's a fact. This one guy, Rajanish, is teaching, no, you should have sex as much as you like until you give it up. And so many people flock to his ashram, man, woman having sex here, there. And therefore he could get 92 Rolls Royce. Can you imagine this? And he's becoming guru. And he said, no Shastra basing. Because they want to enjoy the senses. So he created one so-called ashram for sex enjoyment. Consequently, in the name of religion, so many sinful acts have been carried out. So many sinful acts have been carried out. So, their minds are always, and very often people are addicted to sense gratification, attracted by such. Consequently, in the name of religion, so many sinful acts have been carried out that the people in general have neither peace of mind nor health of body. The student, brahmachari communities are no longer being maintained. As a fact, nobody wants to be brahmachari anymore. All ashrams are empty. Householders do not observe the rules and regulations of grahastha ashram. It's a fact. How many people are observing grahastha ashram? Everything has become grahamedi. There's no ashram, it's grahamedi. Consequently, the so-called vanaprasthas and sannyasis who come out of such grahasthas are easily diverted from the rigid path. In Kali Yuga, the whole atmosphere is surcharged with faithlessness. Men are no longer interested in spiritual values. Material sense gratification is now the standard of civilization. For the maintenance of such material civilization, man has formed complex nations and communities, and there is constant strain of hot and cold wars between these different groups. It has become very difficult, therefore, to raise the spiritual standard due to the present distorted values of human society. The sages of Namesranya are anxious to disentangle all fallen souls, and here they are seeking the remedy from Srila Sutta Goswami. So you can see here how this is very important verse. How the people are very quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. So in this situation, because they are always misguided, they don't know what to do, what not to do. And therefore, they cannot get this mercy of the Lord. It says, unless you are pious, it says here, you see, unless you have some piety, yesham antagata papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dardavataha. So to become a devotee of Krishna, there's qualification is there. It's not just simply everybody can become. Persons who have acted piously in previous life and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are free from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. You follow this point? So unless the person has some piety, so how to get some piety will be the next question. Suppose I want to become a devotee, how do I get this piety? Piety means we have to give up sinful life. So sinful life, how to give this up? How to give up sinful life? Right? Day in, day in, every day we are committing sins only. So much sinful activities are going on. So because of this sinful life we are suffering. When the sinful activities increase, then the fruit will come, suffering. So now the next question is how to get rid of all these sins, how to get out of it, right? So this is explained in the 6th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. 6.1, give me a minute. This is spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. We will go to this one, 616. So here, the question was raised. Adunena mahabhaga yateva narakan naraha nanograha yatanam neyat tanme vyakyatum arhati. So, O greatly fortunate and opulent Sukadeva Goswami, kindly tell me how human beings can be saved from entering into hellish condition in which they suffer terrible pain. So how to clear this bad karma? Explained here, purport. In the 26th chapter of the 5th canto, Sukadeva Goswami has explained that people who commit sinful acts are forced to enter hellish planet and suffer. Now Maharaj Parikshit, being a devotee, is concerned with how this can be stopped. A Vaishnava is para dukkha dukhi. In other words, he has no personal trouble, but is very unhappy to see others in trouble. Prahlad Maharaj said, my dear Lord, I have no personal problem, for I have learned how to glorify your transcendental qualities and thus enter a trance of ecstasy. I do not have a problem. However, for I am simply thinking of these rascals and fools are busy with Maya Sukha, temporary happiness, without knowledge or devotional service unto you. This is the problem faced by a Vaishnava, because a Vaishnava fully takes shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He personally has no problems. But because he is compassionate toward the fallen conditioned soul, he is always thinking of plans to save them from their hellish life in this body and the next. Parikshit Maharaj therefore anxiously wanted to know from Sukadeva Goswami how humanity can be saved from gliding to hell. Sukadeva Goswami had already explained how people enter hellish life, and he could also explain how they could be saved from it. Intelligent man must take advantage of this instruction. Unfortunately, however, the entire world is lacking Krishna consciousness and therefore people are suffering from the grossest ignorance and do not even believe in a life after this one. To convince them of their next life is very difficult because they have become almost mad in their pursuit for material enjoyment, as we have already read earlier just now. Nevertheless, our duty, the duty of all sane men is to save them. Maharaj Parikshit is the representative of one who can save them. So next question. Sukadev Goswami is speaking here. Sukadev Goswami replies, My dear king, if before one's next death, whatever impious acts one has performed in this life with his mind, words and body are not counteracted through proper atonement according to the description of the Manu Samhita and other Dharma Shastra, one will certainly enter the hellish planet and after death undergo terrible suffering as I have previously described to you. See, if a person does not do any proper atonement, he is going to be big trouble. Understand? So, we are going to read on. And therefore, before one's next life comes, as long as one's body is strong enough, one should quickly adopt the process of atonement according to Shastra. Otherwise, one time will be lost and the reaction of his sin will increase. An expert physician diagnoses and treats the disease according to its gravity. One should undergo atonement according to the severity of one's sins. In other words, here is talking about how to atone for sinful activities. In Dharma Shastra, like the Manu Samhita describes, man who has committed murder should be hanged and his own life sacrificed in atonement. Previously, this system was followed all over the world, but since people are becoming atheists, they are stopping capital punishment. This is not wise. Herein it said, a physician who knows how to diagnose a disease prescribe medicine accordingly. If the disease is very serious, the medicine must be strong. The weight of a murderous sin is very great. Therefore, according to Manu Samhita, a murderer must be killed. By killing a murderer, the government shows mercy to him. Because if a murderer is not killed in this life, he will be killed and forced to suffer many times in future lives. Since people do not know about the next life and the intricate workings of nature, they manufacture their own laws. But they should properly consult the established injunction to the Shastras and act accordingly. In India, even today, the Hindu community takes advice from expert scholars regarding how to counteract sinful activities. In the Christianity, also there is a process of confession and atonement. Therefore, atonement is required, and atonement must be undergone according to the gravity of one's sinful acts. Then Parikshit Maharaj said, "Oh my, one may know that sinful activity is injurious for him. Actually, because he actually sees that the criminal is punished by the government and rebuked by people in general, and because he hears from scriptures and learned scholars that one is thrown into the hellish condition in the next life for committing sinful acts, nevertheless, in spite of such knowledge, one is forced to commit sins again and again, even after performing acts of atonement. Therefore, what is the value of such atonement?" So, Parikshit Maharaj is not a fool, he is a very intelligent person. He said, what's the use of atoning? And then again and again he may sin. In some religious sects, a sinful man go to a priest to confess his sinful acts and pay a fine. And then he again commits the same sin and return to confess them again. This is the practice of professional sinner. Parikshit Maharaj's observation indicate that even 5,000 years ago it was the practice of criminals to atone for their crime, but then commit the same crime again, as if forced to do so. Therefore, owing to his practical experience, Parikshit Maharaj saw that the process of repeated sinning and returning is pointless. Regardless of how many times he is punished, one who is attached to sense enjoyment will commit sinful act again and again until he is trained to refrain from enjoying his senses. The word vivasa is used here, indicating that even one who does not want to commit sinful act, he will be forced to do so by habit. Parikshit Maharaj therefore considered the process of atonement to have little value for saving one from sinful act. In following words, he further explains his rejection of the process. Sometimes one who is very alert so as not to commit sinful acts is victimized by sinful life again. I therefore consider this process of repeated sinning and atoning to be useless. It is like the bathing of an elephant. For an elephant cleans itself by taking full bath, but then throws dust over his head and body as soon as he returns to the land. You see, this is what it says. You go and confess and you do all atonement, pariharam, and after that you again go back and do it again. What is the use? Huh? And Parikshit Maharaj inquired how a human being could free himself from sinful activities so as not to be forced to go to hellish planetary system after that. Sukadev Goswami answered to the process of counteracting sinful life is atonement. In this way, Sukadev Goswami tested the intelligence of Parikshit Maharaj, who passed the examination by refusing to accept the process as genuine. Now Parikshit Maharaj is expecting another answer from his spiritual master, Sukadev Goswami. The text now, Sukadev is saying, Sukadev Goswami, the son of Vedavyas, answered, My dear king, since acts meant to neutralize impious action are also fruitive, they will not release one from the tendency to act fruitively. Persons who subject themselves to rules and regulation atonement are not at all intelligent. Indeed, they are in the mode of darkness. Unless one is freed from the mode of ignorance, trying to counteract one action through another is useless, because this will not uproot one desire. Thus, even though one may be superficially impious, he will undoubtedly be prone to act impiously. Therefore, real atonement is enlightenment in perfect knowledge, Vedanta, by which one understands the supreme absolute truth. You see how he's explaining? Like sometimes the Buddhists, they said that to cancel the bad karma, they do good karma. If they do good karma, and the good karma will cancel the bad karma. It's not like that. Understand? Trying to counteract one action through another is useless. You understand this point? Thus, even though one may be superficially pious, he will undoubtedly be prone to act impiously. I'm sure you know the story of King Nirga, who, was doing so much pious activities. He did one sinful activity by giving one Brahmin the cow, and he took it back, he came back and he gave to another guy, and because of that he became a lizard in his next life. So you see how pious activity also, there's always some impiety involved. Right, so he's saying now that you should get perfect knowledge. And let's see the purport. The long purport. Let's read the next verse. Already 9 o'clock already. My dear king, if a diseased person eats the pure, uncontaminated food prescribed by physician, he gradually cured, and the infection or disease can no longer touch him. Similarly, if one follows the regulative principle of knowledge, he gradually progresses to a liberation from material contamination. So here he is prescribing about getting knowledge. First he speaks about atonement, now he is saying about knowledge. So, again, let us see. To control the mind, one must observe a life of celibacy and not fall down. One must undergo the austerity of voluntarily giving up sense enjoyments. One must then control the mind and senses, give charity, be truthful, clean and non-violent, follow the regulative principles and regularly chant the holy name of the Lord. Thus a sober and faithful person who knows the religious principle is temporarily purified of all sins, performed with body, words and mind. These sins are like the dry leaves of creeper beneath a bamboo tree, which may be burned by fire, although their roots remain to grow again at the first opportunity. So you see, you may perform tapasya, you may be a celebrant, you may voluntarily give up all sense enjoyment, you may do charity, be truthful, clean, all these things may help. But it is explained that these things cannot help completely because they are like, you burn some weeds off, and the moment the weeds are all burned, when there's little rain, again the weed will come out, because the weeds are under the ground. The seeds are under the ground, you see. So it's not a very, complete method. So here again, this is a very important verse. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeve parayanaha agaham dunvati krishneyen katsneyenna niharanam eva bhaskaram. This is quoted by Prabhupada many times. Only a rare person who has adopted complete unalloyed devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful action with no possibility that they will revive. He can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays. This is now coming to the point. Only by taking to devotional service can one uproot the weeds of sinful action with no possibility that they will revive. It's a fact. The moment one becomes Krishna conscious, then his meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, the pillars of sin are immediately what? Forgone. If a person do any other thing, he'll still be ending up doing, drinking coffee, taking tea, doing this, doing that, little by little, sometimes taking eggs, all kind of nonsense. But if you take to Krishna consciousness, then there's no question of his wheat will ever surface again. Understand? So I'm going to the verse because I don't have time. If you have time, you can read the purports. This is the 6th canto. I'm just going very quickly, already 9 o'clock. I'm sorry. My dear king, if a sinful person engage in the service of a bona fide devotee of the Lord and thus learns how to dedicate his life unto the lotus feet of Krishna, he can be completely purified. One cannot be purified merely by undergoing austerity, penance, brahmacharya and other methods of atonement I have previously described. Now this is the jackpot, answer to the earlier questions we asked, how to clean ourselves completely. First thing is that one must take shelter of a bona fide, engage in the service of a bona fide spiritual devotee of the Lord and thus learn from him how to dedicate his life unto the lotus feet of Krishna. That means one must go to a pure devotee like Prabhupada, and then engage in service. Not just go to him, engage in service. And his service is like book distribution, printing, preaching Krishna consciousness, engaging in some way of expanding Krishna consciousness. And then from Prabhupada we should learn how to dedicate our life to the lotus feet of Krishna. So the two things are required. One is Guru and one is Krishna. You cannot say I only need Guru and no Krishna. I cannot say I only need Krishna, I don't need Guru. This is Mayavad. Mayavad teach you to go to just God. This is you cannot do. You need two. A train must run on two parallel lines. You need Guru and Krishna. Cannot do one way. One can be purified. One cannot be purified merely by undergoing austerity, penance, brahma, other methods that I have previously described. See this point and on. Okay, now we're going to the next verse. The path followed by pure devotees who are well behaved and fully endowed with best qualification is certainly the most auspicious path in this material world. It is free from fear and is authorized by the Shastras. You see how the path followed by pure devotees who are well behaved, that means they follow, they're not the simply devotee means you do some nonsense. And they are fully endowed with the best qualification. It's certainly the most auspicious path in this material world. It is free from fear and is authorized by Shastra. In other words, taking shelter of the pure devotee is the only answer how to come out of this mess. You understand? Why? That pure devotees, they are living a method how to go back to Krishna. They are teaching us. You don't need to go and investigate and find out how to love God, this, that. No, this is all bogus. You just have to follow. Understand? My dear king, as a pot containing liquor cannot be purified even if washed in waters of many rivers, non-devotees cannot be purified by process or atonement even if they perform them very well. You understand? If you take one glass and you pour liquor and after that you try to wash it, you cannot wash it. Only way is to throw it away. You understand? Because liquor contaminated cannot wash with any amount of water. Not possible. So any kind of other atonement than chanting Krishna's name is useless. Understand that? It's useless. It will not work. See? See, very nice here. Although not having fully realized Krishna, a person who have even once surrendered completely onto his lotus feet and who have become attracted to his name, form, qualities and pastimes, are completely free from all sinful reactions. For they have thus accepted the true method of atonement. Even in dreams, such surrendered souls do not see Yamaraj or his order carriers who are equipped with ropes to bind the sinful. Just see, even though you are not fully Krishna conscious, even if you once surrender completely to his lotus feet, even once you surrender, once, and we are becoming attached to his name, form, then we become completely free, even once. Understand? See how powerful this chanting of Krishna's name is, how, and that also through the bona fide spiritual master as in Prabhupada. You see? Right. It's so powerful. There's no other method is so powerful than this. Huh? After this, then the story of Yamaraj will come in. Scholars generally describe whole historic incident, order carrier of Lord Vishnu and Yamaraj. This Ajamil story will then come. You see, so I'm just going to go very quickly to you, with you, to the 6th canto again. I'll just go read very quickly what does the holy name done. I am just going. So here the Yamadutas were told by Yamaraj, my dear servant, please do not approach such devotees for they are fully, let's go before one verse, devotees. Considering all this point, therefore, intelligent men decide to solve all problems by adopting the devotional service of chanting the holy name of the Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart and who is the mind of all auspicious qualities. Such persons are not within my jurisdiction for punishment. Generally, they never commit sinful activities. But even if by mistake or because of bewilderment or illusion they sometimes commit sinful acts, they are protected from sinful reaction because they always chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So you see this point? And with such people, my dear servant, that means referring to the Yamadutas, please do not approach such devotees, for they are fully surrendered to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are equal to everyone, and their narrations are sung by demigods and the inhabitants of Siddhaloka. Please do not even go near them. They are always protected by the club of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore Lord Brahma and I, even the time factor, are not competent to chastise them. See what saying Yamaraj is speaking. Paramahamsas, the exalted person who have no taste for material enjoyment and they who drink the honey of the Lord's lotus feet. My dear servant, bring to me for punishment only persons who are averse to the taste of that honey, who do not associate Paramahamsas and who are attached to family life and worldly enjoyment which form the path to hell. So see, this is what is happening. When we try to become very attached to family life and worldly enjoyment, this is speaking, which is the path formed for hell. See, that's why we are, promoting, you please come to the temple, you please associate with devotees, you please chant at home. Understand? We're not saying you don't love your family or anything like that. But we have to understand that these are all temporary things that we got stuck with. Ultimately, one of us will go, either he will die or she will die. Anyway, the family, they will marry, they will go away. It all become empty. Like a bird, once the birds learn how to fly, the nest is thrown away. It's finished. So we have to remember that ultimately we need to go back to Krishna. That is the lesson we need to learn. Okay. My dear servant, please bring to me only those sinful persons who do not use their tongues to chant the holy name and qualities of Krishna, whose heart do not remember the lotus feet of Krishna even once, and whose head do not bow down even once before Lord Krishna. Send me those who do not perform their duties toward Vishnu, which are the only duties in human life. Please bring me all such fools and rascals. Then Yamaraj, considering himself and his servant to be offenders, spoke as follows, begging pardon for them the Lord. O my Lord, my servants have surely committed a great offense by arresting a Vaishnava as Ajamil. O Narayana, O Supreme and Oldest Person, please forgive us. Because of our ignorance, we have failed to recognize Ajamil as a servant of your Lordship, and thus we have certainly committed a great offense. Therefore, with folded hands, we beg your pardon. My Lord, since you are supremely merciful and always full of good qualities, please pardon us. We offer a respectful obeisance on you. My dear King, Sukadeva Goswami continued, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is able to uproot even the reaction of the greatest sin. And therefore, the chanting of the Sankirtan movement, the most auspicious activity in the entire universe. Please try to understand this so that others will take it seriously. So when a person does this, then he will certainly keep Krishna and Arjuna always in his tongue. The more and more he chants, they always keep Krishna and Arjuna in his heart, and immediately there will be victory, there will be opulence, there will be extraordinary power, there will be all morality. Unless and until we keep Krishna. Of course, Arjuna and Krishna are there together, but we also can bring them. How? By inviting them, by chanting Krishna's name. Understand? Krishna's name and Krishna are non-different. Do not think that Krishna's name and Krishna are different. It's non-different. They are same. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Give me a minute, I must take that verse out. It is in the Padma Puranam. Okay, let me get that out for you. Alright, you got it here now. So this is the verse, it says that Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Suddho Nitya Mukto Abhinatvam Nama Naminoho. What does it mean? The holy name of Krishna is transcendently blissful. It bestows all spiritual benediction, for it is Krishna himself. You see, the name and Krishna are non-different. The reservoir of all pleasure. Krishna's name is complete, and it is the form of all transcendental malware. It is not a material name under any condition. So try to understand, Krishna's name is not material. And it is no less powerful than Krishna himself. In other words, the name of Krishna and Krishna are identical. You follow? Since Krishna's name is not contaminated material qualities, there is no question of it being involved with Maya. Krishna's name is always liberated and spiritual. It is never conditioned by the laws of material nature. This is because the name of Krishna and Krishna himself are identical. Are you following this point? Huh? So when you chant this Hare Krishna, you are actually keeping Krishna there. So therefore when you keep Krishna, then where's the question of Maya? Where's the question of inauspiciousness? Where's the question of problem? Where's the question of all headaches? Naturally you get all auspiciousness. How Krishna can bring bad luck, as these Hindus are thinking? How Krishna, God, can give you bad luck? This is nonsense philosophy, no logic. You follow? So therefore we encourage everybody to chant, because that's easy. In Kali Yuga you can bring the Lord immediately to you by opening the mouth and saying Hare Krishna. Finish. You understand? All these problems of this material world can be immediately solved. Immediately, this is the word. Not I'm just joking. I'm just going to get the other words for you and quickly show you this. You can immediately solve all the problems in the world simply by opening the mouth and chanting, Apanam samsritim goram yannama vivaso granan tata sadyo vimucheta yad vibhyate swayam bhayam. Living beings who are entangled in the complicated match of birth and death can be freed immediately by even unconsciously chanting the holy name of Krishna, just like Ajamil did. Ajamil unconsciously just called his son. Huh? You understand? He is delivered, which is feared by fear personified. So, okay, I'm going to stop here. Any questions or anything you can ask? And you can unmute yourself and ask the questions.
Prabhu, Dinesh here.
Yes.
Sometimes, when I do my work, when I interact with businessmen, businesswomen or contractors, I have to take on pretense where I'm very forceful, manipulative, I lie, sometimes I'm harsh with some people to get a point across. I know that I can be a little bit more temperate with them, but they will eat my brain more for longer when I do it. This way I just found a tactic, just raise your voice, occasionally shout at them and get the work done. So that I spare my energy for later. So this basically is when I deal with non-devotees, and yes. Is this a recommended thing or should I?
Yes, Prabhupada said the businessman, he has to tell lies for the sake of getting the business. Nothing wrong with it. Understand?
Okay.
The businessman sometimes say, for you I am not making any profit. So how he can live without profit? You follow? So sometime in trying to get your business going, you have to put, like when you are in Rome, you have to be like the Romans, You follow? So unless you are dealing in a very strong manner, the karmis will take advantage. Everybody is trying to, carve out a profit for themselves. That's how business is all done nowadays. The more they can cheat you, the better they feel. So unless you become a better cheater, how are you going to make money?
Yes,
right? But you're making the money and giving to Krishna, so that's really actually like Arjuna is fighting, killing for Krishna, so there's no harm.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Prabhu, I have one more opinion. Prabhu, this when they end the Bhagavad-Gītā, it says that is my opinion.
Yes, that's a very good question. Because here Sanjaya is speaking.
Why is it not?
Sanjaya is speaking, you see. Sanjaya is speaking to Dhritarashtra, who is asking him, what's going on. So Sanjaya's opinion is that wherever there's Krishna is there and Arjuna is there, there will always be victory on that side. You follow?
Okay.
You understand? This is the opinion of Sanjaya. Sanjaya cannot say wherever there's Krishna and Arjuna, there will definitely be victory and you will lose. He didn't want to discourage his king, no? The Dhritarashtra is hoping against hope, no? Indirectly he is telling him, no? That you have no chance, no? You follow?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Singaporeans don't ask questions.
Okay.
They can unmute yourself and ask questions you like.
ஒரு கேள்வி கேளுங்க. We have one more question, Prabhu.
Yes.
கேள்வி கேளுங்க. ஏதாவது ஒரு கேளுங்க. பரவாயில்ல கேளுங்க. உங்களுக்கு டவுட் ரைட்? புருஷன் செத்துட்டா பொட்டு போடணுமா இல்லையான்னு கேளுங்க.
You can ask for him. No, he may be shy. You can repeat the question.
Right, Prabhu. According to Vaishnava Dharma, if the husband dies, should the wife have that bottu, the red kumkum on her?
Yes. So they put the black one, no? Usually they don't put anything.
Yes.
So there are different dresses. There's a different dresses to signify different orders of life. Just like the sannyasi, he will wear sannyas cloth, correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
So the householders will wear white color to what we say, identify the different social orders. So similarly, in the woman's life, the woman who is married, she has a red dot. That means everybody knows she has got a husband. You understand? So they will be very careful to protect, They don't, she's a married woman. You understand? Yes, and if a woman is widowed, they also will understand she's widowed already, so they will try to avoid, You follow? So in this way, everybody will understand by the dressing what social position what a person is in. You follow?
Okay, Prabhu.
So in that way, we protect the varnashram system.
Okay, Prabhu.
You understand? As Prabhupada was saying, even the woman, if she dresses properly, then the husband is around. If she dresses not very properly, mean husband is away. And how she parts her hair, if she parts in the center, she is a sage woman. She parts on the side, means she is a prostitute. So all these things are there clearly explained. So dressing means give you the idea, just like a policeman, he wears a policeman uniform, so he understands he's a policeman. Yes?
Yes.
You follow? Like that, the dressing tells, Now, like nowadays, nobody know what is it. Everybody have to carry one name card, Very strange. I'm so and so, I'm so and so. But the Vedic system, there's no name card. Everybody sees someone dressing, they'll know. A Brahmin will dress one way, the Kshatriyas will dress one way, the businessman will dress one way, the Sudras will dress one way. Yes or not?
Yes, Prabhu.
So the dressings will tell the position of the person. And accordingly everyone will relate. You follow?
Okay, Prabhu.
Any other question?
Oh, one more question. Tilak. No, கேட்ட கேள்வி காலகாலத்துல கேட்ட கேள்வி திருப்பி கேளு.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu, this is Shekhar Prabhu.
Who is this? Shekhar. What's your question?
Prabhu, I am a Krishna devotee. It's I should compulsory to wear the tilak and tulasi mala. Is compulsory? Is necessary?
Okay, let me answer this question by going to the nectar of devotion. What is the significance of wearing this tilak and kantimala? So what why we have to do this thing all, So let me take this book out and show you why you have to wear this kanti mala and why you have to wear tulasi mala. This is in the nectar of devotion. I'm going to go to the book. So here you can see the nectar of devotion. Are you seeing the screen? Okay, yeah, tilak and tulasi beads. Are you seeing that? Tilak and tulasi beads? Are you seeing the screen? In the Padma Purana, there's a statement describing how a Vaishnava should decorate his body with tilak and beads. Person who put tulasi beads on the neck, who mark the 12 places the body as Vishnu temple with Vishnu symbolic representation, the 4 items held on the 4 hands of Lord Vishnu, conch, mace, dish and lotus, and who have Vishnu tilak on the forehead are to be understood as devotees of Lord Vishnu in this world. Their presence makes the world purified. Anywhere they remain, they make that place as good as Vaikuntha. Understand this? By putting this tilak, their presence makes the world purified, and wherever they remain, they make that place as good as Vaikuntha. A similar statement is there in Skanda Puranam, which says, persons who are decorated with tilak or gopi chandan, a kind of clay resembling fuller's earth, which is produced in certain quarters of Vrindavan, and who mark their bodies all over with the holy name of the Lord, on whose necks and breasts there are tulsi beads, are never approached by Yamadutas. In other words, if you wear this tulsi bead and tilak, they are never approached by Yamadutas. Understand? The Yamadutas are the constable or King Yama, the Lord of Death, who punish all sinful men. Vaishnavas are never called for by such constable of Yamaraj. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in the narration of Ajamal's deliverance, it is said that Yamaraj gave clear instruction to his assistant that we read this now, not to approach the Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas are beyond the jurisdiction of Yamaraj activities. In the Padma Puranam also mention a person who is decorated with the pulp of sandalwood, with the paintings of the holy name of the Lord, is delivered from all sinful reaction, and after his death he goes directly to Krishna Loka to live in association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, if you put some tilak and put kantimala, you gain a spiritual world. Is it a deal or not deal? Huh? What is it? What? Huh?
Prabhu,
What?
I accept Prabhu, but necessary Prabhu.
Huh? Good or no good?
போட்டாதான் அந்த மாதிரி எமராஜ் எல்லாம் வர.
So you don't know when you're going to die, what? Suddenly you're going home now, you get crashed and you die without tulsi mala and neck bead, then how? Can you say or not? Can you say? Yes?
I can.
Can you explain that to him, Dinesh?
Yes, sir. Right? So we don't know when we are going to die. So this is all protection. Okay? It's all protection. So
that's why we put on the neck.
Right? It is recommended that you wear. These are these are all instructions given by God.
So therefore we should try to, suppose you cannot wear the tilak for some reason, then you can put tilak by water, no? Understand? You can put by water tilak, and that is also good enough, and chant the mantras. You follow? Understand? So by and by, when you become more advanced, then these things all will become very clear for you. You follow? Can you explain that to him?
Yes, Prabhu, I'll explain it. Yeah,
Are you
he's
understanding?
feeling shy.
Or is
He's feeling shy. He's feeling shy about the whole thing.
Of course, initially you are attracted to your body, you don't want to put tilak, you don't want to show the bead back, or because you are completely covered by the bodily concept of life. So therefore you don't want to put all this, you think people will laugh at you. Understand? But then become more and more advanced, that if this is what Krishna wants, then why I shouldn't do? Then you will put, you follow? Understand? Anyway, you explain to me.
Ladies can also wear tulsi mala.
Yes, everybody must wear. The Sri Vaishnavas, they don't wear because they say that tulsi, if they pour the water and take bath, the water touching the tulsi will touch their leg. That's why they don't wear the neck beads. That's a different sampradaya. But in our sampradaya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we all wear neck beads and we put tilak.
Yeah.
You follow?
So when you're wearing the tulsi beads, right? Sometimes some people dye their hair black once in a while. Some old people dye their hair black once a month. It's okay to let it be white, no, Prabhu?
Oh, what's wrong? Why you have to worry for death? You want to be you looking youthful, you might as well. Why? Dying is a big headache, isn't it? Color, putting all, and never know you put all this chemical on your head, brain also get damaged, no? What they are selling, we don't know, how they make the dye and all that. Yes? Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
What's wrong in becoming old? Can we understand old age is coming? We cannot be young forever, no?
Yes, sir.
If you are not interested in the body, then you won't do all these things. If you are very attached to the body, then you are very conscious about all these things. You follow?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Prabhu. That's the questions from you.
Any other person have any questions before I sign off? Alright then, all glories to all of you. Hare Krishna. All glories to
Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada. Thank you very much for staying online. Hare Krishna.
Vandeham